Welcome to Frosting Your Gravy, everyone. Today I'm inviting you to join me for a very special recipe for very festive cinnamon buns. If you haven't baked them this way, guys, that's the way to do them. It's kind of a typical cinnamon roll dough, like you would bake a cinnamon bread, but the way that you shape them, you twist them and you turn them into this gorgeous festive, almost like a pie cake, whatever you would call them. The shape, imagine bringing this to an event. Oh my goodness, that's mouth-watering. And it's all the traditional flavors of cinnamon rolls. And look at the dough. It's so extremely fluffy, and I will show you the secret to achieve a super tender and fluffy and very light dough like this. So stick around and let's bake together. Whoa, look at that, guys. Does the camera show how the tender and fluffy this dough turned out? Oh my goodness. Can you pull it apart some more to like show the layers? Yeah, here we go. It just flakes off as you pull it apart. And turn it back. Such a wonderful dessert. Our recipe begins with 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of slightly warmed up milk. If you have a measuring cup, it should be 500 milliliters. And egg white from 1 egg. We will reserve the yolk for a later stage to brush our buns over the top before we bake, but into the milk, only the egg white. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon active dry yeast. Stir everything together for a couple of minutes so that the dry ingredients get a chance to dissolve. Now I'm going to start adding all-purpose flour, 1 cup at a time. I'm going to stir in each cup with my dough hook. You can also do it with a wooden spoon. And when 1 cup has been mixed in, kind of roughly into like oatmeal consistency, doesn't have to be thoroughly, then I will be adding in the next cup of flour. And I will be repeating this process until all of my flour has been worked in. And after I added 4 cups, it's starting to come together and becoming more difficult to move the dough around. I have 5.5 cups of flour here in total, and at this point I can't move the dough whisk around anymore, so I'm going to remove it and start kneading this dough by hand. And also in the process of kneading and putting it together, 1 tablespoon at a time, I will be working in 1 stick of soft margarine into the dough. If you hate margarine, then you can absolutely replace it with butter. The dough needs to be kneaded for a minimum of 7 minutes to develop the gluten. If you hate kneading the dough by hand, then feel free to put it into your stand mixer with a hook attachment and let the machine do the job. At first your dough will be pretty sticky, but within those 7 minutes that you need it, the stickiness will slowly go away and your dough will start easily pulling off the bottom of your bowl and coming together. But the dough absolutely must remain slightly sticky at the end of the kneading process. This and nothing else is always the secret to the softest finished buns, the fluffiest pull-apart dough. And when we're done kneading our dough ball, lightly oil the top and the bottom of the dough and the sides of the bowl. Cover and allow to rest until the dough rises to the very top of the bowl and about doubles or more in volume. And hour and a half have passed, and my dough did double or even slightly more than double in volume. Time to check it out. My dough has lots of bubbles. It's really aerated. That means the dough had its full rise cycle, and it's time to overturn it onto a silicone mat. Next, I'm going to divide the dough into 18 parts and roll each one into a ball. To prevent the dough from drying out, cover the ones that you already rolled into balls with saran wrap. For the filling, we're going to mix 1 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. 1 cup is 16 tablespoons, and that's perfect because I divided my dough into 16 buns, so that means that I can use 1 tablespoon of this mix for each bun. And friends, for baking our buns, we're going to need a large baking dish. Mine is, I believe it's 12 inches. And what we're going to do is put 1 bun in the center, and the rest will be like the petals of a flower all around it. We are going to begin rolling our buns out from the very first dough ball that we made, because this one had more time than others to rest and spring back up again. See how fluffy that is. And we will be moving in order that we rolled them. The very first bun that we're putting in the center will not be rolled in the same way that the rest of them will. So this one is the only one that will be different. Flatten it down by hand and then gently roll it into a circle with your rolling pin. Don't make these circles very thin. This is the thickness. Can you see, guys, that? That's the thickness we should roll it out. Have a little dish with melted butter handy by your side. Dip your brush into the butter and brush over the dough circle, not too thick, but so that the whole circle has melted butter on it. Next, we take our tablespoon of our filling and sprinkle it on the dough. All right, I'm going to kind of help it by hand so that it's evenly spread. And the very first one will be a little different from the rest of them. This one we will roll up jelly roll style. Roll from one end to another. Tucking in all that sugar. Okay, and then beginning from one long end to the other, roll it into like a snail. Keep pushing and rolling. Once I turn off my camera, it will be faster, but I'm holding the camera with one hand. But I think you got the idea. We basically created this snail, and the snail is the centerpiece of our bun ring. There we go. I put it in the center of my pan. I lined it with a silicone pizza ring instead of parchment paper. Then we take our next bun and do what we just did with that one. Flatten it into a circle. It's actually faster for me to flatten it into a circle by hand. Next, again, melted butter, and get it on the brush and brush really well all over our dough circle. Next, we're taking a tablespoon of our filling, spreading it on. Okay, then by hand I'm going to flatten it and evenly kind of spread over it. And here comes the interesting part. Locate the center of your circle, and using either a butter knife or if you have a dough cutter, we're going to just make one cut from the center out to the edge. We're going to pick up one edge right here on the right side, turn it out, and start rolling. Just at this edge, you see, turn it in and roll and roll and roll and roll. And now we begin at 6 o'clock. Now we're at 3 o'clock. Keep going up and up and up. Keep rolling. My fingers are on the outer edge right here. And up, and now we're at 12 o'clock. And I'm going to keep turning my cone and rolling and rolling and rolling, and now we are at 9 o'clock. See? And then we're going to continue going down and down and down and down and down, and we are back at 6 o'clock where we have started. And this is how we roll them, and in the same way, I'm just pinching the end closed. I've made this cone, cone shape, or like a roll up. And friends, we are going to be laying them thin end touching the original circular bun that we've put in the middle, and the rest of them will be thin end touching here and the thicker end going out. And so as I mentioned, my dish is not wide enough, so I ended up with a dish full plus 3 separate cones on a different baking tray. And now let's cover them for 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, we will make the crumbly topping. For the crumbly topping, also known as streusel, in a bowl we need to mix 3 tablespoons of sugar and 4 tablespoons of butter. It's much better if butter is cold and cubed, but this will work too. Add 4 tablespoons of flour and mix everything roughly. Just as soon as most of the flour has been worked in, our topping is done. So this is the perfect consistency. We should have big crumbs and smaller crumbs and all sorts of sizes of crumbs. This is perfect. To create egg wash, To the egg yolk that we reserved earlier, add a teaspoon of milk and mix everything together thoroughly. And at this point, our buns have nicely increased in size. Lightly brush with the egg wash all over our buns. This will be a good base to hold that crumbly topping, the streusel. Egg wash is done, and last step is to spread this crumbly topping. This is done, and it's ready to go to a preheated to 350-degree oven for about half hour to 45 minutes. Let's take a sneak peek at how it's rising. All right, friends, looky here. My buns are done. I don't even know what to call them. Croissants, possibly, filled with cinnamon sugar. And friends, I cannot even begin to tell you the aroma that has filled our kitchen. Holy smokes, it smells so fantastic. Everybody started coming out of their rooms and asking if the buns are done and if they can grab them and start eating them. Oh, it's like mouth watering. It's so good. I do hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and if you do, please give me thumbs up, hit the like button for my hard work. Consider subscribing to Frosting Your Gravy for more delicious recipes like these in the future. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and hanging out with me, and we'll see you in the next one.